culture that erected huge stone structures like the Egyptian pyramids and the temples of the Aztecs? Does the answer lie in the mysterious Kaimanawa stone wall buried deep in the forest near Taupo? While geologists still wonder whether it's a natural rock formation or not, later this month, archaeologists will begin excavating around it.
The Kaimanawa Wall, located in the dense Kaimanawa forest of New Zealand's North Island, has long been a subject of intrigue, sparking debates and inspiring numerous theories about its origin.
There's two schools of thought at the moment. One that it's a natural occurrence, and one that the blocks of rock have been placed here by some early civilization.
The wall's discovery and subsequent study have raised more questions than answers, fueling speculation about its purpose and the people who might have built it, if indeed it is man-made at all.
They have said that this is beyond our time. They were here 2,000 years ago and were brought here by people.
The Kaimanawa Wall was first brought to public attention in the early 1990s by Barry Brailsford, a historian and author with a deep interest in New Zealand's indigenous cultures. Brailsford, along with a small team of explorers, stumbled upon the structure while investigating local Maori legends that spoke of ancient stone constructions hidden deep within the forest. However, the wall's existence had likely been known to local hunters and bushmen for some time, as the area was popular for hunting and trekking. The wall itself is a roughly 10-meter tall structure composed of large, smooth megalithic stone blocks, seemingly fitted together with precision. The blocks, which appear to be rectangular and meticulously arranged in horizontal courses, resemble the kind of stonework associated with ancient megalithic structures found in other parts of the world, such as the Inca walls of Sacsayhuaman in Peru or the Cyclopean walls of Mycenae in Greece.
And the rocks themselves bend in a sort of a semicircle around. It may be the shape of some sort of structure.
What makes the Kaimanawa Wall so mysterious is the uncertainty surrounding its origins. Unlike other megalithic structures around the world, which have been studied extensively and often linked to known ancient civilizations, the Kaimanawa Wall exists in a region with no known history of large-scale stone construction. The indigenous Maori people, who have inhabited New Zealand for over 1,000 years, are not known to have built anything resembling this kind of stonework. This has led to much speculation about the wall's builders, with theories ranging from a forgotten pre-Maori civilization to natural geological formations misinterpreted as man-made. When Brailsford and his team first reported the wall, they were met with skepticism from the academic community. Many geologists and archaeologists were quick to dismiss the wall as a natural formation, arguing that the stones were simply a result of volcanic activity, with natural processes such as erosion and faulting giving the appearance of man-made construction. However, this explanation did little to quell the public's fascination with the wall, and amateur archaeologists and alternative historians began to propose more exotic theories. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Kaimanawa Wall is the precision of the stonework. The blocks are estimated to be up to 2 meters long, 1 meter high, and 1 meter deep, with some weighing several tons. The largest blocks are comparable in size to those used in the construction of Stonehenge or the Great Pyramid of Giza, leading to speculation that they could not have been moved or placed without advanced technology or the coordinated efforts of a large workforce. Despite the skepticism from some quarters, the wall's discovery has led to further exploration of the area, revealing additional stone formations that could suggest a larger, more complex structure buried beneath the forest floor. These formations include what appear to be terraces, steps, and other features that are difficult to explain through purely natural processes. Another interesting fact is the wall's orientation. The structure is aligned with the cardinal points, with its longest side facing north, which some researchers believe could indicate a deliberate design, possibly for astronomical or ceremonial purposes. This alignment, combined with the wall's scale and precision, has led to comparisons with other ancient megalithic sites around the world, further fueling theories that it could be evidence of an unknown ancient culture. The stone blocks that make up the Kaimanawa Wall are massive, with an average size of around 2 meters by 1 meter by 1 meter. Each block is estimated to weigh between 3 to 5 tons, depending on its exact dimensions and the density of the stone. To put this into perspective, the average weight of a block used in the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza is around 2.5 tons, while the largest stones used in Stonehenge weigh up to 30 tons. This makes the Kaimanawa Wall stones relatively large compared to many other ancient constructions, particularly given the lack of evidence for large-scale stone quarrying or construction in pre-colonial New Zealand. The sheer size and weight of these stones raise significant questions about how they were moved and placed, especially in a dense forest environment with limited access to the kinds of tools and technologies typically associated with megalithic construction.
A structure that would create so much controversy, a great number of theories would be created as to the very nature of its existence.
The absence of any obvious quarry sites nearby also adds to the mystery, as it is unclear where the stones were sourced from or how they were transported to their current location. One of the most popular alternative theories suggests that the wall is evidence of a pre-Maori civilization that possessed advanced knowledge of stone construction. Proponents of this theory argue that the wall could be the remains of a temple, fortress, or other significant structure built by this lost civilization. However, mainstream geologists argue that the wall is a natural formation, the result of a process known as columnar jointing. This process occurs when lava cools and contracts, forming hexagonal or rectangular columns that can appear to be artificially constructed. While this explanation accounts for the wall's appearance, it does not satisfy those who point to the precision and alignment of the stones as evidence of human involvement. Determining the age of the Kaimanawa Wall has proven to be a significant challenge, primarily due to the lack of organic material associated with the structure that could be radiocarbon dated. Without direct evidence, researchers have had to rely on indirect methods such as geological dating of the surrounding rock formations and the examination of any possible weathering patterns on the stones. Some researchers have suggested that the wall could be several thousand years old, possibly predating the arrival of the Maori in New Zealand around 1,000 years ago. This theory aligns with the idea that the wall is the work of a pre-Maori civilization, although there is no direct evidence to support this claim. Others argue that the wall could be much younger, potentially the result of natural processes occurring within the last few thousand years. One of the most intriguing theories about the Kaimanawa Wall is that it was part of an ancient ceremonial or astronomical site. The wall's alignment with the cardinal points, combined with its apparent precision, has led some researchers to suggest that it could have been used for observing celestial events, such as solstices or equinoxes. This would place it in the same category as other megalithic sites around the world that are believed to have served as ancient observatories. Another theory is that the wall was part of a defensive structure, perhaps a fortress or a boundary wall used to protect a settlement or sacred site. This theory is supported by the wall's imposing height and the apparent difficulty in accessing the site, which would have made it an ideal location for a fortified structure. Some have even suggested that the wall could be a remnant of an ancient roadway or causeway, possibly used for transporting goods or people through the dense forest. This theory is based on the wall's straight, linear design, which could indicate that it was part of a larger network of roads or pathways. One of the most mysterious aspects of the Kaimanawa Wall is the lack of any similar structures in New Zealand or the wider Polynesian region. While there are numerous examples of stone construction throughout the Pacific, including the famous Moai of Easter Island and the Marae of Tahiti, none of these sites resemble the megalithic style of the Kaimanawa Wall. This has led some researchers to speculate that the wall could be evidence of a migration or cultural exchange between New Zealand and other parts of the world, possibly as far afield as South America or Southeast Asia. One particularly interesting theory suggests that the wall could be linked to the ancient legends of Mu or Lemuria, hypothetical lost continents that are said to have once existed in the Pacific Ocean. Proponents of this theory argue that the wall could be a remnant of an advanced civilization that was destroyed in a cataclysmic event, leaving only a few scattered ruins behind. Another coincidence that has fueled speculation is the similarity between the Kaimanawa Wall and certain structures in Japan, particularly the megalithic site of Yonaguni, which lies submerged off the coast of Japan. The Yonaguni structure, like the Kaimanawa Wall, is composed of large, precisely cut stone blocks arranged in a manner that suggests human involvement. Some researchers have suggested that these similarities could indicate a shared cultural or technological origin, possibly dating back to a time when sea levels were lower and these regions were more closely connected. In addition to the Kaimanawa Wall, there have been other intriguing discoveries in the surrounding area that could shed light on the region's ancient history. For example, researchers have found numerous petroglyphs and carvings in the central North Island, some of which depict strange humanoid figures and symbols that do not appear to be of Maori origin. These carvings have led some to speculate that they could be the work of a pre-Maori culture, possibly the same one responsible for the Kaimanawa Wall. Comparisons between the Kaimanawa Wall and other megalithic structures around the world have also provided some intriguing insights. For example, the wall's construction technique bears some resemblance to the Inca stone walls found in Cusco, Peru, where large irregularly shaped stones are fitted together without the use of mortar. While the Kaimanawa Wall's stones are more regular in shape, the precision with which they are fitted together is comparable, leading some researchers to suggest that similar techniques or knowledge could have been used.
You went to this spectacular place in Montana called the Sage Wall that nobody's heard of. My girlfriend's family lives in Montana, about 2 hours away, and they've never even heard of this place.
I'll tell you right now about Montana and people not knowing about Montana because it really has been going under the radar for quite a while.
The Sage Wall in Montana is a fascinating discovery that has captured the attention of paleontologists and fossil enthusiasts.
It's explained away as a dike or a geological formation, but it has a lot of different features to it that are not typical of dikes.
Discovered in 2001 by a team of paleontologists led by Dr. Sarah Johnson from the University of Montana, this significant find was actually stumbled upon by accident. The team had been investigating a nearby site known for its dinosaur fossils. On their way back to base camp after a long day of excavation, one of the team members, Dr. Mark Stevens, noticed an unusual rock formation partially exposed on a hillside. Upon closer inspection, they realized they had uncovered an extraordinary fossil-rich formation. Located within the Judith River Formation in the state of Montana, the Sage Wall sits in a region known for its abundant deposits of late Cretaceous fossils. The exact coordinates of the Sage Wall are kept confidential to protect the site from vandalism and unauthorized fossil collecting, but it is situated near the Missouri River. This picturesque backdrop adds to the allure of this significant paleontological site.
If you're in the area or you want to see something which is mind-blowing, come to this site.
Absolutely.
This is incredible.
The Sage Wall dates back approximately 75 million years to the late Cretaceous period, an era characterized by a warm climate, high sea levels, and the dominance of dinosaurs on land. During this time, the area that is now Montana was part of the Western Interior Seaway, a vast inland sea that split North America into two landmasses, Laramidia to the west and Appalachia to the east. This seaway played a crucial role in the geological and ecological dynamics of the region. This natural rock formation is primarily composed of sandstone and mudstone, which were formed through the deposition of ancient river sediments over millions of years. These sediments were carried by ancient rivers and streams from nearby mountainous regions, accumulating in layers that were eventually compressed and cemented into solid rock through the process known as lithification. The Sage Wall itself is an impressive geological structure, standing approximately 50 feet high and extending about 200 feet in length. The individual stones within the wall vary greatly in size, with some large blocks weighing several tons. These massive stones were likely transported by powerful ancient river systems, moved by significant water flows during periods of heavy rainfall or seasonal flooding. This site is particularly noted for its high concentration of dinosaur fossils. Additionally, the site has yielded significant plant fossils, providing insights into the ancient ecosystem of the late Cretaceous period. Key discoveries include a nearly complete juvenile hadrosaur skeleton and a small theropod with evidence of feathers, offering valuable information on dinosaur diversity, behavior, and evolution. The Sage Wall, while impressive in its structure, is a result of natural geological processes rather than human construction. The orderly deposition of sediments and the presence of natural cementing minerals align with known natural geological activity over millions of years, emphasizing its natural origin. While the Sage Wall's impressive structure might suggest a man-made or even mythical origin, such as being built by giants, all evidence points to it being a natural formation.
It could simply be totally natural, a freak of nature, so to speak. But part of me, when I first look at it, that gut impression is like, oh, come on, this has to be more than just natural.
The layering, composition, and fossil inclusions within the wall align with known geological processes that occur over millions of years. The orderly deposition of sediments and the presence of natural cementing minerals indicate that the wall is a product of natural geological activity, rather than human or mythical intervention. The Sage Wall is famous for its hadrosaur fossils, which include numerous bones and teeth. This specimen, along with others, underscores the importance of the Sage Wall as a window into the past, offering a detailed look at the ancient life that once thrived in what is now Montana. The Sage Wall has also yielded fossils of horned dinosaurs, such as ceratopsians. These fossils include skull fragments, horns, and teeth, offering insights into the anatomy and behavior of these herbivorous dinosaurs. The discovery of theropod fossils, including relatives of Tyrannosaurus rex, has added to the site's significance. These fossils include bones and teeth, which help scientists understand the predatory habits and evolutionary relationships of these carnivorous dinosaurs. One of the most exciting discoveries at the Sage Wall is the fossilized remains of a small theropod dinosaur with evidence of feathers. This find has contributed to the understanding of the evolution of feathers and their role in dinosaur physiology and behavior. Additionally, plant fossils found at the Sage Wall include well-preserved leaves, seeds, and petrified wood. During the late Cretaceous, the area where the Sage Wall is located was a lush, subtropical environment with rivers, forests, and abundant wildlife. This contrasts sharply with the semi-arid climate of modern-day Montana. The region supported a diverse range of plant life, including conifers, ferns, and flowering plants, which provided food and shelter for a variety of herbivorous and carnivorous dinosaurs. An interesting comparison can be made between the Sage Wall and the famous Dinosaur Provincial Park in Alberta, Canada. Both sites are rich in late Cretaceous fossils and provide valuable insights into the ecosystems of that time. However, while Dinosaur Provincial Park is known for its wide variety of dinosaur species, the Sage Wall is particularly noted for its exceptionally well-preserved fossils and the evidence of possible nesting sites. Another fascinating comparison is with the Hell Creek Formation, also located in Montana. Both sites are rich in late Cretaceous fossils and provide valuable insights into the ecosystems of that time. While the Hell Creek Formation is known for its diverse array of dinosaur species, including the iconic Tyrannosaurus rex and Triceratops, the Sage Wall stands out for its exceptional fossil preservation and the potential evidence of dinosaur nesting sites. This comparison highlights the unique contributions of each site to paleontology. One intriguing theory arising from the study of the Sage Wall is that the area may have been a nesting ground for certain dinosaur species. Evidence supporting this theory includes the discovery of nesting sites, eggshell fragments, and juvenile dinosaur fossils. The presence of these fossils suggests that the Sage Wall region provided a suitable environment for raising young, with abundant vegetation for food and protection from predators. This theory offers valuable insights into the reproductive behavior and life cycles of dinosaurs during the late Cretaceous period. This leads us to another fascinating paleontological site, Dinosaur Provincial Park in Alberta, Canada. Located about 48 kilometers northeast of the town of Brooks, the park sits within the Red Deer River Valley, known for its striking Badlands topography. Designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979, the park is celebrated for its outstanding paleontological significance, scenic landscapes, and diverse ecosystem. The rock formations in Dinosaur Provincial Park date back to the late Cretaceous period, approximately 75 to 77 million years ago, marking the tail end of the age of dinosaurs. The park features a variety of sedimentary rock layers, including sandstones, shales, and mudstones. These layers were deposited by ancient rivers and deltas, creating a rich tapestry of geological history. With over 500 dinosaur specimens removed and displayed in museums worldwide, Dinosaur Provincial Park is one of the richest dinosaur fossil locales on the planet. The park has yielded fossils from over 40 different species of dinosaurs, representing a broad range of the dinosaur clade, including both herbivorous and carnivorous dinosaurs. In addition to dinosaurs, the park has provided fossils of other prehistoric creatures, including fish, turtles and early mammals. Plant fossils are also abundant, offering insights into the ancient ecosystems that once thrived in the region. During the late Cretaceous, the area that is now Dinosaur Provincial Park was a lush, subtropical environment with rivers, lakes, and floodplains, supporting a diverse range of plant and animal life. The climate during the late Cretaceous was warmer and more humid than today, contributing to the rich biodiversity of the region. One of the most remarkable features of Dinosaur Provincial Park is its extensive bone beds. These areas contain large numbers of dinosaur bones, often representing mass mortality events. The Centrosaurus bone bed, for example, contains the remains of hundreds of individuals, providing a snapshot of a moment in time and offering an incredible window into the past.
And while we're on the subject of Southeast Asia, where something very interesting has recently rocked the world of archaeology. It's another Göbekli Tepe, if you like. It is a piece of hard evidence that is rewriting history. He says it's a strong case, but not an easy case. We're up against the world's belief.
Nan Madol, often dubbed the Venice of the Pacific, is a captivating archaeological site located off the southeast coast of Pohnpei in the Federated States of Micronesia. This complex of artificial islands linked by a network of canals stands as a testament to the engineering marvel of ancient Pacific Island civilization. The historical context and discovery of Nan Madol stretch through several phases, from early European documentation to extensive scientific studies, unraveling the mysteries of this mysterious site. The first known European to document Nan Madol was Fyodor Litka, a Russian navigator and explorer. During his 1828 voyage in the Pacific, part of a broader Russian initiative to explore and understand the region, Litka encountered the massive stone ruins on a series of artificial islets. He described them as an engineering feat unparalleled in the Pacific Islands. Nan Madol's location off Pohnpei made it a significant discovery, highlighting a site that reflected extensive knowledge and influence across the Pacific Ocean during that era. The real focus on Nan Madol's archaeological significance began with the German colonial administration's takeover of the Caroline Islands. This period marked the start of more focused archaeological attention directed toward the site. Throughout the 20th century, numerous archaeologists from various countries, including the United States, Japan, and local Micronesian scholars, conducted in-depth investigations. These efforts aimed to decode the secrets of the site's construction, its purpose, and the society that built it. Researchers delved into the architecture, artifacts, and human remains found across the approximately 92 artificial islets, seeking insights into the social structure, religious practices, and daily life of its past inhabitants. This detailed archaeological work, which began earnestly in the early 1900s, continues into the 21st century, striving to document and preserve this unique cultural heritage site and understand the development of complex societies in the Pacific. In recent years, the Japanese government has stepped in to assist financially with the preservation and study of Nan Madol, recognizing its regional heritage and historical significance. This contribution underscores the site's importance and aids in ongoing research and conservation efforts. Moreover, in 2016, Nan Madol was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, bringing international attention and resources to its preservation efforts. This designation has been pivotal in enhancing the site's management and conservation, ensuring that Nan Madol remains preserved for future generations. The involvement of local scholars and the Pohnpeian community has been crucial in bridging the gap between past and present. Their knowledge of oral histories and traditional practices has enriched the archaeological data, providing a deeper understanding of Nan Madol's historical and cultural context. This local engagement not only supports scientific inquiry, but also ensures that the heritage of Nan Madol continues to be a living part of the community's identity and history. One of the most thought-provoking and mysterious aspects of Nan Madol is the legend surrounding its construction, particularly the origin story of the Saudeleur dynasty. According to local Pohnpeian folklore, the founders of Nan Madol were two brothers, Olosopa and Olosipa, who came from somewhere in the west or northwest, guided by a flying dragon. These brothers were not just ordinary men, but were skilled in sorcery and possessed the mystical ability to command spirits and elements. The brothers initially sought to build an altar on Pohnpei to worship Nanison, the god of agriculture, by using a massive floating stone brought from another island. After several failed attempts and the death of the elder brother Olosopa, the younger brother Olosipa succeeded in creating Nan Madol by magically flying in the huge basalt stones and commanding them to stack themselves. This narrative infuses the site with a deep mystical significance, suggesting that the city was more than a political and ceremonial center, but also a place imbued with supernatural power. This legend raises provocative questions about the intersection of mythology and technology in ancient societies. How did such stories influence the construction and organization of Nan Madol? Were these legends an attempt to rationalize the extraordinary engineering feats achieved with the resources and knowledge available at the time? Or do they point to something deeper? Building on our previous discussion of Nan Madol's history, it's equally fascinating to delve into the architectural and engineering feats that define this ancient marvel. Nan Madol's construction not only displays extraordinary prehistoric engineering prowess, but also aligns with the complexities seen in some of the most famous ancient sites worldwide. The design and execution demonstrate a sophisticated knowledge of architecture, logistics, and natural resource management that is impressive even by contemporary standards. The engineering challenges began with establishing a stable foundation directly on coral reefs, a challenging environment due to the soft, unstable substrate and exposure to tidal fluctuations. To overcome these challenges, builders constructed nearly 100 artificial islets across more than 200 acres, meticulously positioning huge stones on the shallow reef to withstand the forces of the ocean. The primary building material was columnar basalt, chosen for its natural, pillar-like formation. The largest of these stones could measure up to 7.5 meters in length and weigh up to 50 tons, roughly the equivalent of a fully loaded tractor trailer or a large modern tank. The total volume of basalt and coral fill used in creating the islets is estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands of cubic meters. Transporting and positioning such immense volumes required not only significant labor but also precise planning. One of the site's greatest mysteries is how these massive basalt logs were moved several kilometers without the use of wheels, a technology not known to exist in prehistoric Micronesian cultures. An interesting theory suggests that the builders might have utilized the buoyant properties of bamboo rafts to float these massive stones across the lagoon, a method that would have alleviated weight issues and provided a feasible means to transport heavy loads across water. The construction of Nan Madol shares some intriguing parallels with other monumental projects like the Great Wall of China, which also required adapting construction techniques to challenging environments. Both the Great Wall and Nan Madol showcase the ingenuity of their respective builders in using available materials and innovative methods to overcome environmental challenges. Another fascinating theory about Nan Madol involves the potential use of a natural cement or geopolymer, similar to methods speculated to have been used in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids. While there is no direct evidence for this at Nan Madol, the precision fit of the stones suggests that some form of binding agent might have been employed to secure the structures against the forces of the tide. As previously mentioned, Nan Madol was meticulously planned as a series of approximately 100 artificial islets spread across more than 200 acres of a tidal lagoon. These islets were connected by a network of canals serving dual purposes. They facilitated transportation across the city and acted as defensive barriers against potential invaders. This strategic use of the aquatic environment for defense can be likened to ancient moated structures but executed on a far grander scale. Each islet was clearly differentiated by function, with distinct zones for the elite commoners and ceremonial activities, reflecting a highly stratified society, where social status dictated spatial occupation within the urban layout. The elite's residences were strategically placed to offer both privacy and protection, often located on the more central islets which were better defended and closer to the ceremonial centers. These areas featured larger structures and more elaborate basalt log constructions. The ceremonial islets, particularly those like Nandoas, were the focal points of the city. Nandoas itself is an engineering marvel, featuring walls over 8 meters high and 5 meters thick, constructed entirely from huge basalt logs. These logs were fitted together without mortar, relying on their massive weight and the puzzle-like fit of their hexagonal shapes to create stability. Nan Madol housed the tombs of the Sordala rulers, making it a key place of power and significance. The design of Nan Madol suggests that it served not only as a tomb area, but possibly also as a site for major ceremonial gatherings and the enactment of important rituals, which reinforced the rulers' divine status and their control over society. Comparing Nan Madol with other ancient constructions offers interesting insights. While the Egyptian pyramids were monumental sites built on solid land using a massive workforce and resources from a large centralized state, Nan Madol's construction required ingenious adaptations to a fluid and challenging marine environment. Yet, both sites demonstrate the capacity of ancient societies to mobilize and manage large-scale resources over generations. The strategic use of water in Nan Madol's design is also reminiscent of medieval European castles with moats, which used water as a natural defensive barrier to protect against sieges, albeit in very different contexts. The use of naturally hexagonal columnar basalt at Nan Madol not only facilitated the physical construction process, but also enhanced the structural integrity of the buildings. This choice of material and the method of construction likely contributed to the site's longevity, as these stones interlock naturally, creating a more resilient structure against natural elements, especially in a saltwater environment.
3 years after the fall of Jerusalem and the Temple, when an Arch of Triumph was erected in Rome, 960 men were holding that cliff of Masada against the whole might of the Roman Empire. I had the honor and privilege to excavate the site completely, and in fact all the discoveries which we made prove that the story of Josephus Flavius was correct.
Perched high above the Dead Sea, the ancient fortress of Masada stands as a magnificent structure to human ingenuity and resilience. This awe-inspiring megastructure, discovered by scientists, reveals a fascinating blend of royal luxury and desperate defiance. But the story doesn't end there. Just a short distance away, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls has added an even deeper layer of mystery and historical significance to the region. Join us as we unravel the secrets of Masada and explore how these incredible finds are reshaping our understanding of ancient civilizations. Masada is an ancient fortification located on a rugged, isolated rock plateau in the southeastern region of Israel, overlooking the western shore of the Dead Sea. This impressive site, also known as Masada in Hebrew, symbolizes Jewish heroism due to its historical significance and dramatic landscape. Rising approximately 450 meters above the level of the Dead Sea, Masada is an imposing natural fortress. The plateau itself is about 600 meters long and 300 meters wide at its widest point, with a flat top covering around 9 hectares, roughly equivalent in size to 17 football fields. Constructed during the reign of Herod the Great between 37 and 31 BCE, Masada was chosen for its defensible position and strategic advantage. Herod, known for his monumental building projects, envisioned Masada as a refuge for himself and his followers in case of a revolt. The site gained particular historical prominence during the First Jewish-Roman battle. According to the Jewish historian Flavius Josephus, Masada became the last stronghold of Jewish rebels known as the Sicarii, who held out against a Roman siege. After a lengthy siege, the Romans constructed a massive ramp on the western side of the plateau to breach the walls. Masada has yielded a plethora of archaeological treasures that provide a vivid glimpse into the lives of its ancient inhabitants. The primary excavations conducted by Israeli archaeologist Yigael Yadin in the 1960s uncovered numerous artifacts and structures that tell the story of Herod's grand vision and the final stand of the Jewish rebels. Herod's palace complex at Masada is a testament to his architectural ambition and penchant for luxury. The complex is divided into several distinct sections. The northern palace is the most elaborate part, constructed on 3 rock terraces. The upper terrace housed living quarters and a semicircular portico that offered stunning views of the Dead Sea. The middle terrace featured an elaborate reception hall, while the lower terrace included a bathhouse with a sophisticated hypocaust heating system. The walls were adorned with frescoes depicting floral and geometric designs, and the floors were covered with intricate mosaics, showcasing the opulence of Herod's reign. The Western Palace served as the administrative hub, including living quarters, storerooms, and a large central courtyard. It also contained an audience room with a throne niche, indicating Herod's need for a formal space to conduct affairs of state. The palace's storerooms were well stocked with foodstuffs, wine and oil, indicating meticulous preparation for a prolonged stay or siege. The palace complex featured several bathhouses, equipped with both cold and hot baths, steam rooms and dressing rooms. These bathhouses were marvels of engineering, with sophisticated water heating and circulation systems that reflect the Roman influence on Herod's architectural style. The synagogue at Masada is one of the oldest synagogues discovered in Israel, providing a rare glimpse into Jewish religious practices during the Second Temple period. Stone benches lining the walls would have accommodated congregants during prayer and study. A small room adjacent to the main hall, believed to have been used to store religious texts, yielded fragments of biblical scrolls, including parts of Deuteronomy and Ezekiel, underscoring the spiritual life of the Masada inhabitants. The Roman ramp and surrounding siege camps are significant for understanding Roman military strategy and engineering prowess. Built on the western side of the plateau, the ramp is a massive earthwork structure, rising over 200 meters. Constructed by the 10th Roman Legion, the ramp allowed the Romans to move siege towers and battering rams to breach the fortress walls. 8 Roman camps encircled Masada, their outlines still visible today. These camps housed thousands of soldiers and included command centers, barracks, and supply depots. The largest camp, known as Camp F, served as the headquarters for the Roman commander, Lucius Flavius Silva. One fascinating theory posits that the Sicarii rebels might have engaged in psychological warfare against the Romans. Imagine the rebels using reflective surfaces, such as polished shields or metal objects, to create blinding flashes of sunlight aimed at the Roman soldiers. This clever tactic could have disrupted Roman activities and lowered their morale. While speculative, this theory adds a layer of intrigue to the story of Masada's defense. An interesting comparison can be made between Masada and Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, USA. Both are isolated fortifications with dramatic histories of resistance and imprisonment. Alcatraz is famous for its use as a federal prison, known for holding notorious criminals and its almost impossible to escape location. Meanwhile, Masada is renowned for its role as a last stand against a powerful enemy. The structures on Masada were not carved directly from the mountain, but were built using stones quarried from the surrounding area. The natural features of the plateau were cleverly incorporated into the design, enhancing its defensive capabilities. Herod's engineers were particularly skilled, creating elaborate water systems, including cisterns capable of storing large quantities of water. This ensured a sustainable supply in the arid environment, a critical factor for the inhabitants' survival during sieges. Masada is not only a historical site but also a natural one, home to a variety of unique flora and fauna. The plateau and its surroundings are part of the Judean Desert, which hosts several species adapted to the harsh, arid environment. Among the interesting wildlife that can be spotted around Masada are the Nubian ibex, a type of wild goat known for its impressive climbing abilities, and the Tristram's starling, a bird recognizable by its glossy black feathers and orange wing patches. These species add an ecological dimension to the experience of visiting Masada, showcasing the biodiversity of the region alongside its rich history. One of the most significant ancient discoveries near Masada is the collection of texts known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient manuscripts were found in a series of caves around the site of Qumran, located about 20 kilometers northwest of Masada. The Dead Sea Scrolls were first discovered by Bedouin shepherds in 1947 and later excavated by archaeologists in the 1950s. Dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, these scrolls include some of the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, along with a variety of other texts that shed light on the religious practices and beliefs of the time. The scrolls are composed of several types of writings. Around 40% of the scrolls are copies of texts from the Hebrew Bible, including parts of every book except Esther, providing critical insight into the early forms of the biblical manuscripts. There are also sectarian manuscripts, which include rules, hymns, and commentaries specific to the community believed to have inhabited Qumran, often identified as the Essenes. These documents offer a glimpse into the beliefs, practices, and daily life of this group. Additionally, there are apocryphal and pseudepigraphal texts, which are writings not included in the canonical Hebrew Bible. These include additional stories and interpretations that were part of the broader Jewish tradition at the time. The scrolls were found in 11 caves near Qumran, and the site itself has been extensively excavated. Archaeologists have uncovered ruins of a settlement that likely housed the Essenes, featuring communal dining rooms, ritual baths, and a scriptorium where some of the scrolls may have been copied. This settlement provides valuable context for the scrolls and insight into the community that produced and used them. There is a historical link between Masada and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some of the scrolls found at Masada itself during Yigael Yadin's excavations included biblical texts similar to those discovered at Qumran. This suggests that the Jewish rebels who occupied Masada during the Roman siege might have brought these sacred texts with them, further highlighting the cultural and religious continuity in the region during that period. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls is often considered one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century, providing invaluable insights into the history of Judaism and the early development of Christianity. The scrolls are now housed in the Shrine of the Book at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where they continue to be a major focus of scholarly research and public interest.
I had been in the Maya area quite a lot ever since I was a sophomore at Harvard. Something went drastically wrong with these people and with this civilization. This area was abandoned, really, pretty much for hundreds and hundreds, almost 800 years. And center after center, city after city, failed to put up dated stone monuments.
Located in the Petén Basin of Guatemala, Tikal sits in the dense jungles of northern Guatemala and forms part of the Tikal National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This ancient city is one of the largest and most significant archaeological sites of the pre-Columbian Maya civilization.
At that time, Tikal was thought to be the biggest Maya city and stayed that way for a while.
Flourishing between 200 and 900 AD during the classic period of Maya history, Tikal was a major political, economic, and military center. At its peak, the city had an estimated population of between 50,000 and 100,000 people.
These were not empty cities, there were actually thousands upon thousands of people living there.
The discovery of Tikal dates back to 1848 when Ambrosio Tut, the governor of Petén, was informed about the ruins by local indigenous people. These locals had largely abandoned the site due to its remote location in the dense jungle. Recognizing the potential significance of these ruins, Tut organized an expedition to explore the area. The first recorded expedition was led by Modesto Méndez, then governor of Petén, and artist Eusebio Lara. Their objective was to document the ruins and assess their historical significance. Méndez and Lara's expedition brought detailed information about Tikal to the broader world, recording the existence of several large structures and creating initial sketches and descriptions that sparked interest among scholars and explorers.
But you can see, of course, that they're not cities like Teotihuacan, they're certainly not cities like Rome.
In the 1880s, Alfred P. Maudsley, an English archaeologist and explorer known for his work on Maya ruins, visited Tikal several times. Maudsley conducted meticulous studies of the ruins, creating extensive drawings, maps, and photographs. His work provided some of the earliest comprehensive records of Tikal's architectural and artistic features. Maudsley's publications included detailed plans and descriptions of the major structures, as well as photographs of stelae and other carvings. His contributions were instrumental in bringing Tikal to the attention of the international archaeological community, laying the groundwork for future scientific investigations. Significant archaeological excavations were carried out from 1956 to 1970 by the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology's Tikal project. Initiated by key figures such as Edwin M. Shook and William R. Coe, the project's goals were to conduct systematic archaeological excavations, restore key structures, and study the site's history, architecture, and culture in detail.
First, Edwin Shook and then William Coe started excavating at Tikal.
The excavations unearthed numerous burial tombs, particularly those of the elite and ruling class, often located within or beneath major structures like temples and pyramids. One of the most notable discoveries was the tomb of Jasar Chan Kawil Wand, found beneath Temple 1, also known as the Temple of the Great Jaguar. The tomb contained an array of valuable artifacts, including intricately carved jade masks, jewelry, pottery, and ceremonial items. The jade mask, a hallmark of Maya elite burials, symbolizes the power and divine nature of the ruler. Other royal burials also revealed significant insights. These tombs were often built with vaulted ceilings using the corbel arch technique, which was a significant architectural achievement for the Maya. The stelae and monuments at Tikal serve as historical records, commemorating significant events such as battles and the reigns of kings. These hieroglyphic inscriptions detail the genealogy of rulers, their accomplishments, and their alliances with other city-states.
These are very, very different kinds of cities, and we have to understand them in different ways.
Often accompanied by elaborate carvings of deities, mythical creatures, and symbolic imagery, these texts provide a vivid picture of Tikal's past. Epigraphers have worked painstakingly to decipher Maya glyphs, a complex writing system composed of logograms and syllabic symbols. This challenging work has revealed much about Tikal's political history and its relations with neighboring cities. Through these inscriptions, key figures such as Yikin Chan Kawil and Jasar Chan Kawil have been identified. The texts include detailed accounts of their military campaigns and construction projects. The ability to read these glyphs has allowed researchers to reconstruct a chronological list of Tikal's rulers, their interactions with rival cities like Calakmul, and periods of prosperity and decline. Tikal's history is marked by evidence of extensive warfare, as seen in its defensive structures and weaponry.
This is a period when really we don't know very much about Maya society or civilization at all.
The city was well protected by large earthworks, walls, and moats designed to fend off invasions. These fortifications were strategically placed around the city's perimeter and key entry points. A massive defensive ditch, likely filled with water, and an accompanying embankment surrounded much of the core area of Tikal, illustrating the city's preparedness for siege warfare. Archaeologists have uncovered various weapons such as obsidian blades, flint points, and spearheads, indicating the martial nature of Tikal's society. The presence of mass-produced weaponry suggests a highly organized military. Some burial sites even include skeletal remains, showing signs of battle injuries, along with grave goods like weapons and armor, hinting at the valorization of warriors in Tikal's culture. Tikal's history includes prolonged conflicts with the rival Maya city-state of Calakmul. These wars were frequently fought over regional dominance and control of trade routes. Hieroglyphic inscriptions document several major battles, including significant defeats and victories that influenced the political landscape of the Maya lowlands. Tikal, in the dense jungles of northern Guatemala, is a marvel of ancient architecture and engineering. One of its most iconic structures is the Temple of the Great Jaguar, or Temple 1, which stands at approximately 47 meters tall. Built around 732 AD to honor Jasar Chan Kawil I, a significant ruler of Tikal, this pyramid also served as his tomb. The temple features a steep staircase leading to a small roof-combed shrine at the summit. The roof comb is intricately decorated with stucco sculptures. The alignment of Temple 1 suggests it was used for astronomical observations, particularly during important solar events. Directly opposite Temple 1 on the western side of the Great Plaza is the Temple of the Masks, or Temple 2. This pyramid, standing at approximately 38 meters tall, was likely built to honor the wife of Jasar Chan Kawil I, though her tomb has not been definitively identified. Temple 2 is known for the large, sculpted masks that adorn its stairways, thought to represent deities or mythological figures. The tallest structure in Tikal is Temple 4, which reaches approximately 70 meters into the sky. Completed around 741 AD during the reign of Yikin Chan Kawil, the son of Jasar Chan Kawil I, this temple offers panoramic views over the jungle canopy, extending to the horizon. This height not only provided a vantage point for observing celestial events, but also symbolized the ruler's connection to the heavens. The roof comb of Temple 4 is particularly elaborate, featuring carvings and stucco work that once depicted scenes of the ruler's power and divinity. The central acropolis at Tikal served as a complex of interconnected structures functioning as royal palaces and administrative buildings. This area includes multiple courtyards, narrow corridors and stairways connecting various residential and administrative rooms. Equally significant is the North Acropolis, a ceremonial complex featuring numerous pyramids and temples, serving as the main burial ground for Tikal's elite. The North Acropolis is densely packed with temples, shrines and tombs, each constructed over previous structures in a tradition of continuous building. Tikal is renowned for its stelae and altars, intricately carved with images and hieroglyphic texts. These monuments commemorate significant events and rulers in Tikal's history, often depicting kings and queens, battles, and important dates. The hieroglyphic texts on these stelae have been crucial in understanding the political and social history of Tikal and the broader Maya civilization. Elevated roads, known as causeways or sakbiob, connected different parts of the city, demonstrating advanced urban planning. Constructed with limestone and featuring retaining walls to prevent erosion, these causeways facilitated trade, communication, and movement within the city. Tikal's extensive water management system, including reservoirs and canals, indicate their engineering intelligence. These systems collected and stored rainwater, ensuring a reliable water supply throughout the year, even during dry seasons. The ability to manage water resources effectively supported Tikal's large population and complex urban environment. One intriguing theory is that the layout of Tikal was influenced by celestial events and constellations. Some researchers suggest that the arrangement of temples and pyramids mirrors specific star patterns, aligning with important dates in the Maya calendar. This connection between architecture and astronomy underscores the Mayas' deep knowledge of the cosmos and its integration into their urban planning. Comparing Tikal to the Egyptian pyramids reveals both similarities and differences. Both Tikal's temples and the Egyptian pyramids served as monumental structures as well as possibly tombs for elite individuals. However, while the Egyptian pyramids, such as those at Giza, are primarily solid structures with internal burial chambers, Tikal's pyramids are multifunctional, combining tombs with temple platforms for rituals. Additionally, the intricate hieroglyphic carvings and stelae at Tikal provide a more detailed historical narrative compared to the relatively sparse inscriptions on the Egyptian pyramids.
This is Ollantaytambo, and it's the last Inca town which is still more or less intact. Today we're going up to the quarry site where megalithic stones were extracted.
There are no tools that are discovered that have these, highly advanced capabilities.
Well, the tools were either recycled by different cultures over the course of time, or they're being hidden in warehouses in different countries that the government doesn't want the public to know about.
Nestled in the high, rugged terrain of the Sacred Valley, the Temple of the Sun at Ollantaytambo is a testament to ancient engineering.
Well, all the geologists I know who've looked at it say that it's natural stone.
The temple's most striking feature is the Wall of the Six Monoliths, built from enormous stones, each weighing tens of tons. The mystery of how these colossal stones were transported to such an elevated site without modern technology continues to puzzle scientists, historians, and archaeologists.
Some of the stones that were extracted weigh 65 tons.
Various theories have been proposed, from the use of log rollers and ramps to the incredible strength of human and animal labor. But the precise methods remain a subject of speculation and wonder. The discovery of the Temple of the Sun in Ollantaytambo and subsequent findings in the area are deeply intertwined with the broader exploration and rediscovery of Incan sites throughout the Sacred Valley. The detailed story of its discovery reflects a blend of local knowledge and international scholarly interest, which brought this remarkable site back into the world's consciousness.
It's obvious that the Inca found an abandoned megalithic city and made it their center because of that.
The process of mapping and documenting the Inca sites along the Urubamba Valley began earnestly in the 19th century, but gained significant momentum with the explorative fervor that marked the early 20th century. Notable figures such as Hiram Bingham, who famously publicized Machu Picchu in 1911, were instrumental in bringing global attention to the Inca sites. Although Bingham did not discover Ollantaytambo, his work set the stage for its further exploration. The first detailed descriptions of Ollantaytambo emerged from explorers like Sir Clements Markham in the late 19th century, who documented the Inca trails and their connecting sites. These accounts highlighted the site's grandeur and intricate stonework, noting its potential significance, but often lacking the archaeological precision seen in later years. By the 1920s and 1930s, more detailed expeditions were undertaken, often by Peruvian and international teams, who began to catalogue the ruins in earnest. These teams used early photographic techniques to create comprehensive records that would later prove crucial for restoration and further study. The mid-20th century saw a surge in archaeological interest that brought more scientific methods to the study of Ollantaytambo. Starting in the 1950s, archaeological teams began to apply more rigorous scientific techniques to their excavations. Notable among these was the work led by American archaeologist John Rowe in the 1960s, which focused on understanding the site's cultural and historical context. His work helped to place Ollantaytambo within the broader narrative of the Inca Empire's expansion and religious significance. The use of early photographic equipment and later, more sophisticated imaging techniques allowed researchers to analyze the alignment of the temple stones. This was crucial in establishing its purpose related to astronomical events, particularly the solstices, which were significant in Inca cosmology.
A lot of these ancient megalithic sites, they seem to be astronomically aligned.
The role of local knowledge in the rediscovery and understanding of the Temple of the Sun cannot be overstated. The temple's significance in local folklore helped guide and enrich the archaeological narrative. The local Quechua communities retained oral histories that spoke of the temple's celestial alignments and its role in Inca rituals. These stories, passed down through generations, often provided the missing links in understanding the site's function, such as the significance of specific stone placements and their relationship to Inca astrology. Local stories frequently guided archaeologists to specific parts of the site that had been overlooked or misunderstood. For example, the local legend of the Path of the Sun helped researchers identify and understand the importance of certain architectural lines that align with the sun during the winter solstice. The water mirrors found near the Temple of the Sun at Ollantaytambo provide a fascinating glimpse into the sophisticated engineering and astronomical knowledge of the Inca civilization. These architectural features, essentially functioning as reflective pools, offer insight into how the Incas manipulated natural elements to serve both practical and ceremonial purposes. The primary function of these water mirrors was to observe and track celestial bodies. By observing the reflections of the sun, moon, and stars, Inca astronomers could determine critical calendrical and agricultural periods. This was essential not only for the timing of planting and harvesting crops, but also for determining the dates of various religious festivals and ceremonies, which were profoundly influenced by astronomical events.
Taking into account the solstices and equinoxes for ceremonial purposes.
An intriguing comparison can be drawn between the Incan water mirrors and the use of water in Roman architecture, such as in the famous impluvium in Roman atrium houses. Like the Incan mirrors, these Roman basins were central architectural features designed to collect rainwater, but they also played a role in the aesthetic and practical aspects of Roman domestic life, providing a source of water and a focal point for the household. While the Romans used these features primarily for practical domestic purposes, the Incas elevated their water mirrors to the level of astronomical precision and ceremonial significance, integrating them into their spiritual and scientific understanding of the universe. This comparison not only highlights the universal human attraction to and use of reflective surfaces, but also emphasizes the unique ways in which such features were adapted to meet specific cultural needs and beliefs. The Wall of the Six Monoliths at the Temple of the Sun in Ollantaytambo stands as a profound testament to Inca engineering and architectural prowess. This iconic structure features 6 massive stones, each masterfully carved and placed with precision that remains a topic of admiration and mystery among historians and engineers alike. The crafting of the Wall of the Six Monoliths involved sophisticated stoneworking techniques that the Incas had perfected over generations. The stones were quarried from sites several kilometers away, involving a complex process of extraction, transportation, and placement. The precise technique used to transport these massive stones remains partially speculative, with theories suggesting the use of log rollers, llamas, and sheer human force. Once at the site, the stones were meticulously shaped to fit together perfectly. This was achieved through a method known as ashlar masonry, where stones are cut to fit together without mortar. The joints between the stones are so fine that it is often said not even a piece of paper can slide between them. This precision not only added to the aesthetic and structural integrity of the wall, but also enhanced its seismic resilience, allowing it to withstand the frequent earthquakes that can occur in the region. The construction of such a wall required a deep understanding of geological and architectural principles. The Inca builders selected specific types of stone based on their durability and resistance to weathering. The alignment and interlocking of the stones further contributed to the wall's stability, distributing seismic forces throughout the structure rather than allowing them to concentrate at any single point. The Temple of the Sun's status as an unfinished structure adds a layer of historical intrigue. The abrupt halt in its construction provides a snapshot into a tumultuous period marked by the Spanish conquest. Archaeological findings at the site reveal a sudden stop in construction activities. Tools and materials were found abandoned, as if the workers had dropped them mid-task. Large stone blocks, partially carved, remained scattered around the site, suggesting that significant planning and labour were underway at the time of the disruption. This unfinished state offers a unique insight into the Inca construction methods, as it lays bare the various stages of their building process, from initial stone shaping to final placement. The presence of these artifacts helps archaeologists understand the chronological order of construction phases and the techniques used by the Incas. To grasp the scale and weight of the stones in the Wall of the Six Monoliths, consider that each stone could weigh as much as 50 tons. This is comparable to the weight of 10 large African elephants, or about 35 compact cars. The effort to move, carve, and perfectly place each of these stones is akin to modern engineering feats, such as the assembly of massive turbines used in hydroelectric dams, or the construction of heavy concrete structures in earthquake-prone areas.